Here's a game that was supposed to be like a 7th place, maybe an 8th place, but that I was able to somehow turn around into, well, you'll see into what. But this is a strategy that used to be very common back in the day, used to be a very great and good like actual board that I saw top players play, but I fell off for that. I don't really see that often anymore, probably because of the crazy scaling now back into the game and the high rolls. So still, I managed to pull it off successfully this game to a certain degree, and it's something very helpful to know if you're in the same situation as myself. So I'm doing the warrior curve here, just staying on tier 1, taking good pairs, and we get rewarded with a triple. Also, I'm playing a hero that I don't really enjoy that much, Alakir, even though he is pretty good. Now this turn, thought about it pretty long, but I do just end up buying the triple and holding it in hand, so next turn I can just double level and play it. Otherwise, it's a bit awkward if I buy double weaver. I would have to freeze the triple, now I double level, and I can't really, you know, buy the triple. I have to freeze another turn and then discover the triple a turn later. So it's kind of a trade-off. Now, we didn't hit Avenge. Avenge would be amazing here. Gribber is okay, but it doesn't really synergize well since it's hard for us to get triples. It's not like we have an amazing hero power that helps us with that. Instead, Champion, you know, does kind of work with our hero power. Our first card on the board is always going to get Taunt and Divine Shield, so scale up a little bit, and we have this Reborn Taunt anyway. I stayed down, find a Deflect-o-Bot. Now, mechs is pretty awkward with Alakir because obviously I can't just put the Deflect-o-Bot first. It already has a shield. If I give it wind free, it's just gonna die into something, and taunt on it, yeah, doesn't make sense, right? I'm now facing an opponent with Doomsayer, so he hit a good triple, and with like Juggler and a bunch of other strong shit. So you can see the difference between someone who hits an Avenge card and someone who doesn't, like myself, and just has to try and make a champion work. Now, I'm not, like, I don't think I'm weak at all. I think my board is pretty strong. We got this Weaver, Gotcha Not Tier stuff, just, you know, to have some stats on the board. Got double Deflector now. We got a reset. A champion that scales up slightly every turn. And, well, I'm feeling pretty okay about this game. I feel like we can, you know, make something happen here. Now I find a Menace, a Greasebot. Now since the Greasebot nerf, it fell off a lot. It's like +2/+2 or +1/+2/+1 or +1/+1 is a massive difference. I do still take it because I don't really know what else I'm gonna end up doing here, and it does work out with what I have in mind. I'm just gonna Menace this Deflecto, get rid of the Weaver stuff, you know, I don't think I want to really pursue that, and just put the Greasebot in. You know, it helps me with my hero power as well, so technically it is just +3/+3 a turn. It's like a mini light thing. Maybe it's more stats if my Deflectors get attacked into again. And as you see, I also bought an arm because that's essentially what I'm trying to do with this comp. I'm trying to make it into a special sort of taunt comp since we have the champion anyway. I do take it really hard here because this guy was super strong. You know, I don't know what's happening in this lobby. People are just insane. And I'm at 2 HP. Like on turn 8, and someone is dead already turn 8. It's not even a Diablo lobby. People are just high rolling. So I'm very scared here. Luckily I get to face that ghost, otherwise I was probably dead. And I'm just trying to figure out what the hell we're gonna do to try and live. So I'm staying tier 4. That's usually what you do if you don't really have much outs or many outs, because tier 4 is where all the tempo stuff is at, and it is where you can, you know, roll cards. Right now I'm looking for Module, I'm looking for Menace, I'm looking for Argus, you know, then the arm becomes useful, like, because right now the arm playing it is not really that valuable to me. I'm looking for, you know, anything that's gonna help me with these mechs, because I think I'm pretty stuck with mechs since I have double Deflecto. I'm still, again, trying to make a tauntish board. Normally taunt comp is pretty bad right now because, again, the scaling fell off compared to other stuff, but if you really have nothing else to do, you might as well go for it. Now there's a couple different kinds of taunt boards. There's like the old school champion board, which is just big taunts and scaling up champions, which is pretty bad right now. There was a Divine Shield mech taunt comp with arm, which is what I tried to do here, since I think that still is possible to some degree. And then there is well, just like a reborn taunt comp with like Avenge synergies with tank, maybe Juggler taunt comp, you know, stuff like that. But right now I'm up against the top guy, I'm up against Lich King. I'm very scared, so I need to all in here. Finally found Argus, took me a while. I also picked up a tank because I need to be as strong as possible for this turn, and I don't think I'll find a card stronger than tank right now. The demon I have to sell, it's literally just the only thing I can sell on this board because I do want to play arm since I have my Deflectors taunted. So that is the strat, the Taunted Deflect-o-Bot strat. Now, might seem weird, and I think at first people really don't understand why you would ever taunt your Deflect-o-Bots, but you know how strong Mackerel is, right? So kinda you want to achieve a Mackerel effect. You want to have these taunts attacked into multiple times so they lose their shield, and then you want to put a lot of resets in front. Right now I only have like a mummy in front to reset my Deflecto. But you want like double mummy and then maybe like a Kangors, which resummons the mummies again, and you know, you can create the effect of like unkillable taunts essentially. And then maybe we find a holy mackerel, just a mackerel are able to module it and fit it on the board as well. Now, another reason, of course, why you taunt Deflectos is so you can scale them up. It's hard to scale Divine Shields now with the nerfed Grease Bots, so Arm is one of the best ways. You just get super high attack onto these Deflecto-Bots by having them being attacked into. Also, this way you can get multiple resets. Normally if you put Deflectors in front, they just get reset once because you put like, you know, a mummy after it. But by taunting them, you can easily have them attack multiple times into it and get multiple resets. Of course, you can get scammed, you're more vulnerable to cleave, so there's a reason this comp fell off and it's not played as much. It's easy to counter in multiple ways. But I don't really have that luxury right now. It's the only thing I'm really doing and finding, and it's just what I gotta go with. Also, in case you're wondering, I've been putting my champion first because I don't really know what else I can realistically put first, right? Like, there's no other good card, and it's my biggest one, so giving this Divine Shield and Wind Fury is pretty good. It'll be able to, you know, just murder some big taunts, and it gets taunt itself, so if it gets attacked into, it also scales up. And with the Arm, just a bunch of synergies. We're able to kill the Maligos, that high roll. The Maligos that we faced with all the Avenge stuff early on, I think that was Maligos, we beat him just by doing this trash tempo stuff that I had to come up with last minute after just not finding anything and getting kind of completely destroyed by our strong early opponents. Up against Galakron, I find a triple. Now I decide to go for a 6 and finally go to tier 5 to maybe hit my X-Now or a Mega Buster. Missed on both, feels bad, man. We're up against Beast, so I guess we'll take a Zap. Now, one thing I'll also mention is that stayed on tier 4 and never really went to 5, even though it was cheap, because a single Mackerel isn't really that good. We have no way to scale it. So if I rolled Mackerel, I would still have to roll a module to taunt it, and then only then it would be like valuable on this board. So I'd rather stay on 4, find all the necessary tools for this comp, you know, the triple Arm, the module and the Argus for my Deflectos, and just be strong and survive, because I literally thought I would be dead like 3 turns ago, so I didn't see a reason to level, because I didn't think that we would ever make it to the late game. And look at the synergies. I'm keeping these fights in because look at the Deflecto-Bots. They scale up so much using just this Arm. They're getting so much value from these resets. We're able to, again, have a really close fight but win in the end. So far the fights have all been really close. None of them have been super convincing. So we're really keeping up, and I'm surprised that I'm just very surprised that it still works, because this is a comp again that you used to see almost in every lobby, especially as Alakirs, because again Max is awkward with it, and that I haven't seen being pulled off against me or by others in months maybe. Tank also fell off, so I sold it because, you know, tank is late game really shit against a lot of high stats. Instead I put a Murloc on the board and try and get a Poison, because why not, right? Poison is always great to fill in the flex spots. I can sell this Arm if I'd want to. I can sell this Reborn Taunt now, since this Murloc did get Poison, and I could play a Spore or a second Murloc and maybe Selfless. Like, there's a lot of ways that I can try and counter my opponents depending on who I face. Now, another great thing about Alakir is if you put Poison first, it turns into an Amalgadon. So I can turn this Poison Murloc into a Divine Shield, Wind Fury, Poison Boy, and kill 2 things for free. And that is especially good since my next opponent is Demons. So I bought this Murloc because I know that one of my opponents is big Demons, and I don't have the stats to compete with them, I think. So instead I prefer, you know, just setting up for that late game, since I can't really do much else. That's the one flaw about this comp. Other comps you can scale up, you can progress, right? Like, you can find additional ways to upgrade your board, but this comp, it's only like specific cards and specific deck units that you can find, because most of it just auto scales. The Arm does all the work with the scaling, right? Putting the attack onto the Deflectos. Your champion scales by itself. Everything kind of works on autopilot. That's how old Menagerie comps used to work. They just have Light Fang, you just play some tribes, and, you know, you can go AFK and it works by itself. There's not that many AFK comps right now where you just do nothing and it works, because everything is like no me elementals. You constantly cycle, pirates, demons. All of these comps need to cycle, and you need to like actively try and get bigger. So yeah, that's one flaw with this comp for sure, that you need to roll for specific things. We're able to kill this guy, by the way. I don't know if you noticed how much impact our poison had, but I literally killed 2 of their biggest cards for free. And this turn, again, there's not much I can do. I can just roll, and I'm taking a minor upgrade with this this scavenger. I'm taking a Kangars to maybe get more resets onto the Deflectos. I finally let go of my arm because I think my taunts are big enough, and I need to all in. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. My last opponent is Pirate, so I felt like high attack and poison would be good. But here's Scam Comp. It doesn't matter what you do, I can't beat this. Golden Baron, Golden Cutguard, this is nuts. I haven't seen a good Scam Comp like this in a while, so I'll spare you guys the animations, because this is unbeatable with mechs whatsoever. It's impressive though. I'm really happy that we were able to turn this into a second place board, almost first place from the horrible situation we were in. So hope you keep this in mind. Hope that this Taunted Deflect-o strat is something that you'll now as well. Remember, if you're in a tricky spot, and maybe it will save you some MMR like it did with me in this case. Taunt comp, not great, but you know, it can make for a nice top 4 finish. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time.